Welcome to the Podnas with Face, Pat, and Tiz.
But I saw a show recently on ESPN, and it got me into this kind of train of thought around equity, toxic masculinity, just a whole bunch of stuff. So basically, on the show, there was a analyst or whatever, and they were talking about WNBA salaries versus NBA salaries and the reason for the wage gap in the two leagues. And basically, the man was making the point that because of the lower ticket sales and the lower TV revenue, the WNBA, that's the reason why they can't pay the women as much as the men, because they're not generating revenue that the men are generating. And one of the reasons the gap is because the men's game is more exciting because of things like dunks and you seeing somebody get posterized or somebody going for a dunk and getting blocked at the rim. And what he suggested was lowering the women's rim to 9.5 or 9 feet so that dunking could be more part of their game. It could get the excitement up and you could see women coming down, jamming on each other, which would get more of the casual fan, which a lot of fans are women who are not tuning into this. So even women are tuning into the man product more. So like the man was basically saying, you know, get dunking involved in the women's game. It can speed up the game. It can allow more of the casual fan to get excited about the women's game, therefore generate more revenue to get paid more. The woman, she was a basketball player. I can't remember her name, but she was basically like, oh my God, that's toxic masculinity for you to even suggest that you would need to lower the rim for the woman as if we're not good enough to play on the same rim as the men. And he went off on this tirade on him and was like really kind of nasty to him about it. And basically, the guy was basically just suggesting like a practical solution to like how to get women paid more and a thing. And the woman took it as like he was trying to demean women and say they on a 10 for a rim, etc. So I guess, do you feel that the statement that the guy made was one that was toxic? Do you believe in the overarching term of toxic manhood? And what is manhood to you?
Well, I feel like it all depends on the way he said it. I didn't actually hear it myself or whatever, but if he was just trying to think of a practical way, he might not have any malicious intent behind it. He may just be, trying to think, okay, we could do it this way, and then we can have more excitement built onto that, or in general. But I'll just say, if in some cases being logical or saying it or saying some type of practicality may come off as like unemotional, in general, or like come off the wrong way in general. So me personally, I always give people the business benefit of the doubt before I actually look at it. So if I'm in that person's shoes, the guy that said it or whatever, I wouldn't think I would say something like that out of a malicious intent or any type of mindset where I think women are inferior. In general, it all depends on that man and that person or whatever. But at the same time, if a person feel that, you can't help how a person feels, in general. So I really don't think he meant it in a malicious intent the way you described it or whatever. But I can't necessarily say I understand where she came from. Well, I can understand where she's coming from with it, because if you say, hey, you can't dunk this high, you're saying that I can't do something in general. And then she might have took it that way. It all depends on the perspective to me in this situation or whatever. But at the end of the day, it should be the woman's decision if they want to lower it down or not, pretty much.
Okay. What say you, Face? I'm gonna jump in.
I'm gonna pull a Tiz and say I got a couple of different talking points based on what you said.
Mm.
The first one, when it comes to the entertainment, especially the sports entertainment business, we all know it's a male-driven business, and women's sports is not brand new, but in the overall scheme of things, it is new in relation to them getting paid. With that being said, when the ABA came out before the NBA came out, they won't get paid that much. They had to work up to get their revenue, to get that fan base up. And it took years and years and years to build that till they got to the point where they could draw the revenue they drew. As far as with the women, I feel that it's going to lean towards, it's going to be more of a sex issue and then a management, revenue, marketing issue, which it should be. Where you speak to women not even watching it. When it comes to anything, women don't support women. So you look at voting, women don't support women when they're the candidates to vote on. So it comes to sports. Women don't watch women's sports, which you would think they would, but for some reason they don't support themselves. But at the end of the day, they will take up arms with each other and take the same fight. But at the end of the day, not realize that they're in the same as fighting themselves with their opinions. Next thing, when it comes to the decision actually being made, I don't think it just need to be a woman's decision to be made because once again, it's not just a sex thing; it is a money and a marketing thing. So they need
True.
someone who's been in the industry for a while on that other side of the table from the man's perspective, as far as not just a man's perspective, as far as I've been in this industry, I know how to draw revenue. These are some things y'all may want to look into or something. Just some advice. If y'all want to take it, don't take it. But we see where it can go. I've been in this. Cool. Go get somebody that you can ask these questions to. You don't have to have that person to make decisions for you, but get some advice because there are some good female ballers. There's some good female hoopers, but the razzmatazz or the excitement from the ball players just not there. It's a lot of fundamentals, a lot of jump shots, a lot of making some crossovers, making some back downs. But as far as the excitement we could look for, as far as the male sports with the physicality and them getting extra physical, you don't see that in the female sports. Me personally, even with you look at the female football leagues, the lingerie football leagues. Now they get down. I've watched a couple games and they get down. There ain't no flag football. It's full contact pass and everything. But at the end of the day, their fan base isn't big enough to compare against the NFL. And you have to look at it. Those players are extra sexualized because they're putting lingerie to play football, and they still can't get the same fan base as the regular NFL. So you have to look at it. Where is the issue at? It can't be just because it's females because they've overhyped their sexuality in that element, and they still can't draw the revenue that the regular males football teams can. So we have to look deeper into it and get some marketing advice, basically, because I don't think it's something they're doing themselves physically. I think it's a business decision being made.
I think it's a marketing and societal point off of what you're saying.
Societal.
Then yeah, it's more societal because even with women that watch sports or whatever, they mostly watch men's sports, and it's one of those things that they probably grew up with. I know some women that was the thing that they bonded with their dad with or something, so that's all they knew. Like in general, it's like, well, with a lot of things, it's like we have to grow up into it to get used to it for it to go in general. But that's one of those things that marketing needs to work on, like making it a more norm and a more present thing. Much. And I ain't gonna lie, I kind of got scared because I'm scared of women when it comes to these topics.
I got you.
So that's why I said ultimately.
I sensed your apprehension.
Yeah, I was like,
you did a good job of maintaining your.
I didn't want to say
your unbiased stance, and I respect that. So, podcast land, here come a Tiz tape. Excuse me, everybody, and know that I'm coming from the most sincerest of places. I am currently on a journey through shedding some of my old habits, which were toxic, but I'm still a realist and I'm a very logical person, and I see things for what they are, not for the flowery way we often want to put our emotions and attach our emotions to things. So I'm gonna go with, yes, it's a business thing. That is one half of it, but I think that word that you said is a societal thing. I like that you hit on that, Pat. I feel like personally, and y'all can let me know if y'all agree, disagree, whatever, I feel like society in general is getting softer. And I don't mean men are getting more feminine. I mean women, men of all genders, orientations, and everything else are becoming so hypersensitive to the smallest of things or insecurity that they have. Everything is projected on everybody as if you are a malicious person that you are trying to attack them.
Yeah.
This conversation of where the man is simply saying the business is not there to pay the women what it is. This is not a situation of men and women in the exact same. If a woman was on a man team and she's getting paid less, then okay, we can have that conversation. But this is a situation of you are in a separate league and your league is not drawing the revenue that this other one is. So you can't get anywhere near the money that this other one can get. How do we get your revenue up? The man said, not giving you equality, because you have equality right now. You play the exact same game on the same floor with the same, with the same hoop, with the same rules as the men play under, and it's not working. It's time for equity. And I think in society, we have gotten so stuck on everyone must be equal that we're losing the sight of, let's stop looking at that. Let's be real so we can make things equitable. So equality is the illusion that everybody gets a chance to sit down in the classroom. So everybody has a chair. Equity is making sure that everybody in the classroom has a seat adjusted to their height so that they can actually see in the classroom. Because what doesn't matter if you are the shortest person in the room, but your seat is at the back. You have a seat, but you still can't see. And that's where women are in certain places. That's where Black people are in certain places. We are fighting to be equal. We want to be, treat me just like you. But we're ignoring the basic fact that as humans, every single one of us is different. Every race of us is different. Every gender is different. Every orientation is different. It's a reason for that. We're not meant to be one amalgamous, amorphous blob of everything is the same. We're meant to be able to feed off of each other's energies and learn new things from each other and see things from a different perspective and learn about the different part of the world. I think this drive to be equal is what's driving not the people who are coming at logical arguments. There's people out here who are in the feminist movement making logical arguments. There's people in the Save Black Women movement or Protect Black Women movement that are making logical arguments. But I'm speaking to people like this woman who took a benign comment, and instead of, if you disagree, fine. But don't automatically paint this man who didn't say you can't play on a 10-foot rim. You're playing on a 10-foot rim now and making shots and shooting the same three-pointers everybody else is. He's saying you doing it on that rim is equal, but it's not equitable to what the men have. What the men have is the ability to drive and jump over the rim, put an elbow up over the rim and dunk on another man, which gets the crowd out of their seats and make people and puts highlight clips on YouTube and generates more fervor over their game. But instead of even trying to see the logic in a lot of people's arguments, people would rather go to, oh, you're a hater, you're a troll, you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're a chauvinist, you're a this, you're a ist, whatever the ist is of the day. And for me, I feel like we gotta get out of that shit, man.
Show you are down with the Pod Squad. Rep the Podnas by going to teespring.com/stores/Podnas-closet-1 to get all of our newest merch. And as always, follow our entire movement at thepodnas.com.
Welcome to the Podnas with Face, Pat, and Tiz.